Hey everybody, it's Fox with FoxeoGames, and this is a PC port probe of Final Fantasy 15 for, obviously, the PC. It's available on Steam, at least the Windows Edition playable demo. I'm pretty sure there is no Mac or Linux edition, so I'm not sure why they said Windows Edition. I guess that's similar to PC. Generally, we say PC gaming, we're talking about Windows gaming most of the time. As you can see in the options menu here, there's some audio options, subtitles options, and the display has your resolution. You can choose between your monitors, which is interesting. Turn VSync on or off and full screen on or off, but there is no borderless windowed mode, so that kind of sucks. I'm a big fan of borderless windowed mode, although feel free to turn full screen off and use borderless gaming. It works great and it will achieve the same effect. When I first launched the game, it caused that very common G-Sync stuttering or flickering issue, but I fixed it after relaunching the game in our non-full screen, full screen turned off, and then just using borderless gaming, a third-party app. There are some presets that you can choose from, things like, you know, low, average, high, highest, and then you can go through here and set it custom, which is what I do. I like to keep the shadows to like a medium or at least like a high, but not the highest setting, because shadows can be very taxing. I max out some of the other options. Anti-aliasing is definitely one I would drop if you're having trouble. That will usually help you out. And I turn off all the special NVIDIA effects like Hairworks, turf effects, all that crap, because it will burn up your GPU. It will use, or especially your CPU if you have AMD, it will really, really use a lot of your processing power. Not worth it. But as you can see, full key binding is available. You can use a mouse and keyboard or a gamepad. I use the Xbox One controller, and I also played through with the mouse and keyboard. Both actually worked pretty well. Disappointing thing about the mouse and keyboard, though, is that one of the default keys for running is either to hold E or hold left click. That's odd, but other than that, most everything else makes sense. Like you hit the F key for certain things, control or shift, space bar to jump. You move the mouse to move the camera, so most of that should be pretty familiar to the average PC gamer. So whether you choose to play this with a gamepad or whether you choose to use the mouse and keyboard, you shouldn't really have any trouble. Just definitely take a look at the controls for mouse and keyboard before you get started. There are a few in there that might throw you for a loop. Like I said, in order to run, the easiest way to do it is to use the WASD. That's the normal way you move around in a PC game, and then hold left click. Or E, whichever you prefer. Your warp attack was F. It took me a little while to find that. I was just playing around, couldn't find it, and looked at the key bindings and figured it out from that. As you can see, just casually running around outside of combat, the frame rate was in the 100 plus. Yes, this game goes up to 120 frames per second, and you can set what frame rate you want to shoot for in the settings. I think there's like a 30, 60... 120 was the max. I don't remember all the options that were in there, but there were a few. As far as I can tell, it doesn't go above 120. I would know. My monitor runs at up to 144 frames per second. In combat, as you can see, we're getting 90 plus, even occasionally seeing 100. Sometimes drops into the 80s, depends on the exact area we're in, how many enemies there are, and the effects. So this will probably change from area to area. This is the playable demo, so I'm not able to get out of this specific zone in the game. Another huge bummer, just for those of you who are thinking of picking up the demo and playing it, your progress in the demo, your save games here, will not transfer to the full game when you get it. So be careful, don't spend too much time here because you'll have to redo all of that when you actually get the full game. But I gotta say, really impressed with the performance. If you're wondering what kind of system I have, the system specs are in the description down below. But in case you're too lazy to go down there and look at it, it's a Core i7, there are a bunch of those, but you can look at the specifics on that. I have 32 gigs of system RAM. I have a 7200 RPM hard drive, not an SSD, so load times are still an issue. And then I have a GTX 1080 8 gig card. Right here you can see where some of the textures really needed to be updated, like this one. Ugh, wow, that's like mobile phone quality bad. That would look okay on a mobile phone. It does not look okay in a PC game. It even looked kind of low quality on the PS4. Here's a big boss battle for you. You can see we're still hovering in the low 90s, sometimes drop into the 80s. RAM usage is in the upper 9,000 megabyte range. You can see that it's using nearly all of my graphics card in the high 90 percentile. In the CPU, depending on exactly what's going on, It's using anything from like 60% all the way up to I've seen like 98, 99%. So this game not only appears to have really, really good performance, at least with NVIDIA's special, you know, stuff turned off, like Hairworks and all that other stuff. Turn that stuff off, guys. Kills the frame rate. It really does. With all that stuff turned off and most of the settings turned all the way up, it runs really well. Really impressed with this game so far. Controls, graphics, settings, everything seems to be there. Performance. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section below. I'm Fox with FoxeoGames, and I will see you guys next time.